Welcome back to another episode of the Blockrunner podcast. I'm your host, William, always here with your co-host, Iman.
What's up, dude?
On the sticks, we got TJ.
Hello.
All right, dude. Hopefully you're feeling better.
Mildly. Actually, no, a lot better compared to how I've been in the last week or so.
Yeah, you're in a deathbed practically, I hear.
Yeah, man. Multiple brushes with death. I don't know, dude. So for sure I had I would qualify as one of my health scare wake up moments, dude. I really need to improve my quality of health, dude.
Yeah.
I need your help, dude.
Is that why you're here?
Yeah, I need the formula for that purple sludge. Because whatever nutrients are in there, clearly I'm lacking, dude. Because my immune system is shot. Like I get every virus in the book that comes around, like sweeping through the neighborhood. It's like it just latches to my
like there's Iman.
It's a vacuum.
That's good, like fucking docking space, right? In my lungs. Whatever, dude. In my stomach. I had a fucking stomach virus. Still kind of recovering from that. So
yeah.
There might be moments within this conversation where I'm just like queasy. I'll be like, oh, dude.
Yeah.
Just letting you know. But yeah, man, I'm feeling a lot better. But yeah, that's not the only thing that's been kind of like nausea inducing.
Yeah. There's a lot of nauseating
occurrences.
Yes.
Not just natural forces. Whatever this force of
social
Twitter,
forces.
Social forces. Yeah, that shit. That ugly
and it's
thing.
like only from like a very small group of people.
Yeah, the vocal minority.
Yeah.
Right? That's typically...
Which is a systemic situation across all of Twitter in all kinds of verticals.
Yeah, it's the people that typically like, I don't know, the lacking of purpose type individuals types who like they find their purpose in conflict online, right? It's
That's
people,
a good way to put it.
Well, yeah, it happens across like the entire social spectrum, right? It's part of the symptom of like the disruptive force of destroying community amongst our society.
I know physical people that are so into drama that's all that they talk about. So I don't spend any time with them.
When you say physical, you mean like real
human
in
beings
your real life, right?
In my surroundings, in my perimeter.
Oh yeah,
they really enjoy drama, and that's all that they talk about.
Yeah, again, because it gives that sense of purpose, because that is part of the mind disease, right? Of like what we've done as a culture and as a civilization.
Yeah,
like ripping apart things like family, community, and stuff like that. Now people they latch onto these like different ideologies online and such, and it becomes a new force of religion, right? And so these people in the Bitmap community,
that's another.
I think they're proper demonstrations of that, right?
That's another good way of putting it. It's almost like a religion.
I think it's starting to like morph into such, right? Which I mean, it's fine. People need to find their purpose in anything. It's okay. Like if you have genuine like belief and conviction, like something is greater than yourself.
Yeah,
run with that, dude. Like if that's your life's purpose and mission, you could do that, right?
Yeah.
But nobody's like trying to like trample on your beliefs in any way. Right, just because you believe in a certain like religion, like I think the most dangerous thing you could do is try and oppose anybody else who has a different interpretation on their own beliefs. Right, that's typically what's caused the most disruptive moments in humans past.
Yeah,
right.
That's caused the most deaths.
Yeah, the most like the ugliest parts of our humanity's past is like those types of people.
Yeah,
who take it to that level.
That's right. That's right.
Where it's like, my beliefs are the only beliefs that matter. Anybody else who comes up with another interpretation of some sort of like belief system,
correct,
they must be destroyed
at
all costs, right?
Yeah.
And it's a shame that you're seeing the same human behavior patterns like spilling into, our space, right? Which is pretty ugly, right? And like for newcomers entering into the Bitmap ecosystem, and that's what they see. To me, that's a quick advertisement to just leave the door immediately.
Yeah.
Right.
No thanks.
Yeah, I don't want to be a part of that, right?
Yeah.
I'd rather go to $1 Billion Cat, fucking put on my cat spectacles.
Specs, yeah.
And fucking just vibe out, dude, and have a good time.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately that's why people believe that there's going to be like a meme cycle, is because it's so simple. Right? There's no execution risk.
Yeah.
It's just all about like a very basic narrative, like glasses on everything.
Yeah, and I'm starting to see So we're doing a podcast here because so much has happened since I've been sick and since we did the land distribution event for the NATRIX and such. But yeah, some of the reaction that we're getting from the community, it's definitely eye opening for sure. I think it's starting to cement our belief that people actually much more prefer like blue skies rather than actual like production or execution of anything. And I think the meme coin cycle is another like vector of demonstration for that.
Yeah.
Which probably because it is difficult, extremely difficult to actually execute on things and actually follow through.
Yeah. And ultimately, anytime you execute on something, it's never as good as a blue sky. Never. Never is.
Go back to the ICO days where everybody was aping into ICOs.
Yeah. Those are all blue skies. Every single one. It was great.
It was great. Yeah, but when it actually came to like most of these projects, you know, delivering what their roadmap said they were would do, it's like, then people lost interest.
Yeah.
In the metaverse, the same thing. Bitmap presented that opportunity, right? Everybody who was minting these things has access to something, right? Nobody really knew what,
right?
But it was just an idea. It was like a philosophy. It was an ideology, something to be, at this point, worshipped, right?
Yeah.
But nobody could give a clear direction or answer as to like what it is we should be building. Right. And
nobody.
Yeah.
I include everybody when I say nobody.
Yeah. But that was the opportunity that was given to the community, right? It's like you guys come in and you figure it out, right? You build something that could potentially unveil this new direction.
Yeah. The opportunity was for anyone to come in and build something to figure out that direction.
Right. So that was kind of like the initial rally, and the belief is like this, you know, be the Bitmap. Bitmap is this is that. It's the best thing ever to come out of ordinals, whatever. Whoa.
Yeah.
But then once people start actually executing, delivering, it's like, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely not. Right. This is not what Bitmap is, you know.
Yeah.
Et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. And on top of that, I mean, we come from 5 years of experience building in the metaverse, and we've had the same thesis as we did 5 years ago, is focus on the developers. And this whole time, focusing on the developers meant that creation was what mattered the most. In the same way, when you have the internet, the applications on top of the internet is what matters the most. Just having an internet doesn't mean anything without the applications.
Yeah.
And so our thesis has been the same. So we had an LDE. It started, what was it, Wednesday or Thursday? It was Thursday.
I think so.
It was Thursday at 1 p.m.
Was it Thursday or Friday?
No, it was Thursday.
Okay. All
right. And it was successful. I mean, ultimately, we've had 630 mints, so 600 parcels. So that represents around 16%. And then literally, as soon as these things were minted and people got their parcels, people started building like automatically.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, I wasn't sure if people were going to understand how to leverage, you know, MML and its capabilities so quickly. But you reassured me that's kind of like the superpower of MML. I'm not a developer, so I can't like confirm or not, right?
Yeah.
Because I know how difficult it can be for people to kind of like onboard, and especially into like a metaverse ecosystem. But they quickly got the gist, right? And
quickly. That was the whole point, right? That was the whole thesis. And so here we are. We're in the NATRIX, and this particular build right here that we're looking at was built literally in the same mint day. And so this is by, I think it was Imagi Films.
Yeah.
And so here you are with your laser beams kind of like cutting through everything.
It's me, dude. It's me and my NatCat.
And then this is Imagi Films here, right? That's his avatar, at least like the base avatar. But he created all this literally the same day.
So this is his parcel that we're on.
Yeah.
Yeah, the parcel that these bitmappers claim are not actual bitmap parcels.
That's correct.
I mean, this looks like a bitmap parcel to me, dude. This whole land is rendered per the bitmap visualization standard, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. And we've given 3D deployment accessibility to people who minted these parcels from the bitmap. Am I wrong?
I mean, this is exactly what we set out to do, and we did it.
Yeah, I think so. So, I mean,
these are absolutely real parcels.
Yeah. So there's a little bit of a rift in the community. We'll talk about like the actual parcel mechanisms like later on. But yeah, it's just to highlight the whole point of this, right, is to give onboard creators and to give them the proper tooling to actually start building the right assets, right? The right So we call them metas. These are not officially metas yet, right? Not officially tokenized applications, but it's on it. It's on the way.
It's on the way. Yeah.
That's kind of the point.
Yeah. So yeah, I see bee stains. Like,
are you in there?
Yeah, I'm at the second floor.
I'm coming up, dude.
Yeah, I want to see this. Yeah, so this Imagi Films has been building this over the last few days, and like he's making a ton of progress. And as you can see, is like sometimes it disappears is because he's messing with it, and then it pops back in. And so he's editing this parcel like in real time.
Yeah,
and that's what's cool about this technology. And so what you're looking at here is like these different NatCat avatars, and they're all fundamentally unique from each other, right? So once we enable avatars in the NATRIX and subsequently in all of BitmapOS, because you'll be able to deploy this operating system on top of anybody's bitmap. But once you do, part of the stack is a unique avatar. And so you're looking at what that looks like is everyone is going to be absolutely unique in the metaverse using this system.
Yeah.
But let's take a look at the standard here, right? So what everyone's crying about is like, oh, these NATRIX parcels, they're not real parcels. And so if you look at the actual specs from what is being considered as real and not real, is it says parcels are the very first valid child inscriptions maintaining provenance from the district parent. And so all that means is that the first parcel that is generated as a child inscription is a valid parcel.
Yeah.
That's all that it says. Right. And so if you go look at, and if you want to verify, just go to Unisat and then type in the NATRIX bitmap in your search. So click bitmap, type in 716472 and search for that. You will be brought to all these valid parcels. They're all there, right? So you click on this one, the bitmap, and then you click on the inscription ID. And so search that on a platform like Ordiscan. And you'll find that here it is. And then if you look down, here's child inscriptions. What is that? It's a child authorization, right? And then this child authorization was sent to mscribe to produce the first valid children, which are all of these, right? So you look at this entire list. These are all valid child inscriptions of a bitmap, right? They're all here, right? You can use on-chain indexing if you want to put this on the map.
Right, that provenance is maintained, in other words, right?
Yeah.
All these different parcels have a direct tie to that parent bitmap.
And so what are we really looking at here? In literally 2 days, this is the most parcels generated in all of Bitmap combined.
Correct.
And so what does that mean? That means that, like, again, we're focused on creation and developers, and we're trying to give developers an easy way to onboard millions of people, right? Without this authorization, everyone has to inscribe parcels to themselves and then either figure out how to airdrop them to the community, which is expensive. So inscribing to yourself is expensive. Airdropping is expensive. And then even if you list them as PSBTs on a marketplace, maybe nobody cares. Why? Because there's no actual way to use parcels until now.
Yeah.
Right? And so now with child authorization, the owner of the bitmap doesn't have to inscribe everything to themselves. Instead, they create a child authorization, send it to a marketplace or a platform like mscribe, and then from there you can list and price your parcels however you want, free to millions of dollars if you choose. Yeah. And it's up to the community to decide which parcels to get into.
And best of all, you don't have to trust whoever you've like delegated.
Exactly. And you don't have to send your bitmap to any marketplace or platform. You send the authorization, the contract, the smart contract, if you will, to the platform.
Yeah. Therefore mitigating the risk associated to that. I think Bitmap should have learned from its history of like sending over its bitmaps.
Yeah. Man, dude, there was a certain point in like crypto Twitter where everyone was talking about Merlin and everybody, like 200,000 bitmaps were sent to Jeff. Yeah. And then after like 3 months of that, people were claiming that this was like a ransom because they couldn't extract their bitmap.
Yeah.
So we're trying to avoid that by creating new technology and then innovating with Benny, of course, because we couldn't do this without Benny.
Yeah.
and providing a trustless way for people to parcel out their bitmap, and then at the same time of innovating this like sector of the bitmap technology, we're providing a platform for creation, right? So we did two things at once. Show me anybody else doing anything like close to that.
It's gonna be tough, dude. I think it's definitely a tough task for anybody to point out, but none of that matters, really, to be honest. You know, we're not, like I said at the beginning, we're not in it for any actual technology or advancement or progression. It's a religion at this point, right? It's an ideology. It's something I want to preserve my blue skies more than anything, and that's fine. You could do that. You have a different ideological interpretation of how things should be done. That's kind of the whole point of Bitmap, right? So we have we've had an original thesis from the very beginning since we've gotten involved in this metaverse, like ecosystem, right? Predating bitmaps, right? And we're gonna show you a video here of like our earliest days. So we're talking back in Decentraland days, where this is before Facebook pivoted to Meta. This is before everybody was talking about the metaverse in any context of like value is here, right?
Yeah, so let's take a look at this video. So this is a video called Decentraland Walkthrough and Reactions. This is our 23rd podcast.
Yeah, we're talking 5 years ago. So this is pretty early days. So what you're going to see here is literally like us in the alpha stage of Decentraland, right? This isn't even like when it was fully rolled out. It was like open to some early developers. So you're going to see us three is actually Corv. Oscar is in this video, our main developer.
And then, so we're just going to scrub through this video. But what you see here is we're literally running around in Decentraland.
Yeah.
And we are just seeing what the early days of Decentraland was. And in the early days, it was a bunch of static content, right? We literally would just run around and just like see what people were doing. And largely it was static content, right?
Are you gonna play some of this stuff?
So like for example,
the reason why most of the content was static in Decentraland, specifically in these days, because there was a major emphasis on like the builder tool aspect of creation, right? So Decentraland is very similar to like what's being done in the NATRIX, right? Meaning like they had a parceling map that people acquired parcels in the early days, and if you owned a parcel within the Decentraland metaverse, that that's your builder rights, right? That's your developer bandwidth to start installing content, essentially.
Yeah.
So there was a couple ways to do that, right? Is to leverage their builder tool, which was basically just 3D GLBs, things that really weren't very functional, that didn't have any like programmability to them. And it basically like outfit your parcel with like a 3D diorama, right?
Yeah.
So that's pretty much mostly what you see. Not specifically in this. This is like a district, maybe like fine, like where we're like running through open space.
Here we go.
Yeah. So our experience in this is like, okay, initially it's pretty cool to see like people deploying 3D stuff, but we knew pretty much instantly like that's not going to be sustainable, right?
Yeah.
People are not going to come in and revisit this environment, this experience, if it's just a 3D diorama experience, right? There's a lack of functionality and programmability. There's a lack of engagement in here. So immediately our original thesis is, well, we need to be focused on creating applications then, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
It didn't take us very long to realize that this is the value proposition of the metaverse, is the application layer.
Yeah.
It isn't the fact that you can just run around and see 3D dioramas, because nobody's going to come back and experience that again.
Yeah.
Right. It is the functional applications that provide value and therefore provide an engaging experience that gives people a chance to come back and interact again.
Correct. Yeah. So at some point in this video, maybe if you could fast forward it. So we spent like an hour just kind of running through what others have deployed. So yeah, keep in mind, this is like literally like day one activities in Decentraland. And while all this is happening, we were like working on deploying installing our content onto our parcel. Little tiny, what was it, like a 2x2?
Right.
Not the biggest parcel ever, but still, like, it was big to us. I spent a lot of money on that thing. I remember.
Yeah.
I think I forked over like $1,500, $2,000, something like that for that 2x2. I don't remember exactly, but I know I spent like $4
Yeah.
grand on a single parcel that was close to the center of Decentraland. It
Yeah.
was not cheap, dude. Those
Yeah.
are some expensive parcels. But yeah, so we wanted to build something, and here's the moment where we actually get it in for the first time.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there's too much music going on.
Yeah, it's DCL that's going to be annoyed.
Dude, those
Addie.
are.
Why does it sound
Sorry
like?
for all the noise
Yeah, why
that we're
does it sound
providing
like
from our
that?
land. But
I mean, talk
you might have
about
to get used to
early
it.
days, dude.
Well, he doesn't give a shit. Like,
That's when you guys were
he's just
recording in the
land,
submarine.
like stuff, right? I
Yeah,
don't think these
sure.
are his. He's like,
I remember those submarine days.
holy cow, he's like,
But yeah, we were running around in Decentraland and nothing functional.
Yeah, that was the big thing. So to us, it felt very exciting to see our application. That's what you're watching here. It's an actual game,
Yeah.
fuck.
right? To see something
so
functional
much
with
smaller.
music,
With
Yeah,
everything else
compared to
surrounding
everything
it. Yeah.
with actual like level progression, like
Yeah.
logic within this app, right?
Yeah.
And immediately, so we're like, dude, this is what we need to be focused on. We need to activate more of this, right? And we can only build so much of this ourselves.
That's right.
There's so much land out there, so much bandwidth for developers to start creating things. But we can't be the only dev in the room.
Yeah.
right?
So quickly, again, we're like, okay, applications are the way to go. We know we can't do all of this by ourselves. So what do? We build a platform to help developers create content.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, we saw a proliferation of functional things when we did that.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I mean, ultimately, it's like that has been our thesis from the beginning, from 5 years ago when we started the podcast. I mean, the podcast we started was focused on crypto, and pretty quickly from there on, we were locked in the metaverse because we understood we had like, tons of years of like experience playing games, and we understood the value proposition of playing a game and owning digital assets and what that could mean.
Yeah.
And so as soon as we understood that there was like a metaverse that was doing that in Web3, which was Decentraland, we were locked in.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and then it's took us down a rabbit hole of like much more, I don't know, like crazier things. Like you start off with the idea of, okay, we need to make apps. And then what happens when you tokenize them? And then now these tokenized applications can be part of like a cohesive ecosystem, right?
Mhm.
Where you can actually build out closed loop, like little economies within this metaverse landscape, right? Now we're talking about like real like draws to the metaverse space. Like now we have like a real motivation and purpose to actually be present and
Yeah.
to like join into this ecosystem, right? Because that's what all of Web3 is about.
That's right.
What are people's motivations to become like meme coin speculators, right?
Yeah.
What are people's motivations to participate in DeFi? What are people's motivations to participate in some other GameFi that's not metaverse like correlated, right? It's always that. It's to find your place within some sort of closed loop, cohesive ecosystem where there's value to be extracted, right? As an individual participant.
Right.
And there's a lot of different ways to do that, whether it's a player, a creator, a staker, a delegator, just a lot of different means to achieve this like,
Yeah. Community, like
yeah.
incentive alignment.
Yeah, so these are largely things that are not present in the metaverse equation, though, because part of the issue is Decentraland was one of the only like metaverse stacks with any programmability to it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It was only one with an SDK.
Yeah, so it's like fuck, man. There's really not much as far as like developer friendly like creation mediums, even
Mhm.
like to even like test out this thesis properly, right?
Yeah.
So that's where Bitmap came in and gave like us the biggest opportunity, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like we have literally a clean open slate, like the Bitmap,
Yeah.
where we can bring this technology framework and this whole programmability to an open metaverse development ecosystem, right? Where now we can onboard developers at scale
That's right.
to contribute to this thesis, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, ultimately, like the idea of a bitmap is the commoditization of the creation of a metaverse, right? Typically before this, like you would have to raise a ton of money and do all this like crazy stuff in order to launch a metaverse. And then, who knows at the time, like whether or not there would be interest of, to something like that.
Mhm.
And so there was like a handful of metaverses that actually spawned from that era, Sandbox and Decentraland and CryptoVoxels,
Mhm.
that achieved some degree of traction.
Yeah.
But it required like to exist at that time, right? And the metaverse is not going to be built by Decentraland, Sandbox, or CryptoVoxels, or Meta, or what's another one? Roblox,
Mm.
right? It's going to be built by people, independent developers creating something that has mass adoption, mass creation, mass traction,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's might not come from like these bigger parties. It
Mm.
might not come.
Yeah.
And so far, like we spent a lot of time in Decentraland, and they were just not focused on developers for whatever reason,
Mm.
right? They had some sort of other like profile image of a metaverse.
Yeah.
And if you go look at their Twitter, like it's not even it's still not focused on developers,
Mm.
right? It's just people partying for the most part.
Yeah, that's like largely the end result of like the first wave, I guess, of metaverse iterations, like specifically in Web3, right? Yeah, you just go look at everyone's like Twitter accounts. The biggest thing like the community's engaged with is like dressing up and just kind of like dancing around, having little dance parties, which is okay. Like if you
Sure.
go, that's actually a very big like part of the metaverse experience, right? Like you
But do you think that dancing and I guess like putting on wearables, is that enough to elicit a $1 trillion metaverse ecosystem as some of these bigger parties are predicting?
No, I don't think that's like the it thing for sure. No, I don't think. I mean, no.
No,
The answer
yeah,
is no.
no, definitely not.
Yeah.
It's the application layer, the same thing that made the internet trillions of dollars.
Yeah.
Or the applications, right? It's the same thing applied to the metaverse.
Yeah. The reason why, hey, look, Image Films is running around in here. But yeah, the reason why is because whenever you give developers, specifically app developers, those proper tools, they start to build things that you can't really predict and foresee, right?
Yeah.
And then that's where like the killer unlocks start to kind of be discovered.
Yeah.
Right. Same thing what happened in the internet, right? When you give application developers the tools to build powerful apps, you get things like YouTube, right?
Right.
You get things like TikTok. You get things like different applications that people build that all of a sudden catch wind, right? And get massive user adoption. Now, guess what? We're all full scale users of the internet daily.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So without the application layer of the metaverse, like we can't even get to that feasible like starting point to even like have a probability of having that occur in the metaverse space, right?
Yeah, and the biggest factor here is the UGC economy, the user generated content, right?
Mhm.
Because that's what made YouTube into this like behemoth, right? And TikTok and Twitter, right? It's user generated content, and you're not going to be able to build the metaverse without that factor,
Mhm.
because otherwise you're going to be depending on like these single units to provide all the value. And a lot of the times when they provide value, it just doesn't hit, and it's not long-term sustainable. And so we need a mechanism that allows for mass experimentation, which is UGC.
Yeah.
Right. And so that is why we are so focused on supporting developers, is because somebody in the community is going to figure it out.
Yeah, 100%.
They're going to.
They will.
Right?
I have 100% confidence in that.
Yeah. I mean, there is no other way to figure this out.
Mhm.
Right. So create the tools. And that's why, like, it's important for us to understand the problems within the metaverse, and specifically Bitmap. Bitmap is not perfect. It has problems.
Mhm.
And one of the problems is the way you parcelize. And as a child inscription, and if you guys don't know how child inscriptions work, is in order to produce a child, you need to have the parent in your wallet. So, like, I can't produce a child of an asset that's in your wallet. That is impossible. If I could do that, we'd be breaking cryptography, and all of society is over if you could do that.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Definitely don't want to do that.
Yeah. So the way to create a child is that you need to have that asset in your wallet, and then that parent asset needs to be sent out to be the first output of a transaction, and then the second output is the child, and therefore parent-child structure.
There you go.
And so whenever you produce these assets, you need to send out that parent, right? Yeah. So when you produce children from a bitmap, are you going to do this yourself? I was like, well, that's going to cost, thousands of dollars to do that. Yeah. And that really stops everything. That's why no one has done anything on Bitmap, precisely because of, these problems.
100%. Yeah.
And so we developed a solution that mitigates this problem. Just create that child off, send it to a platform that supports this whole structure, and then produce the children in that fashion.
Correct. And now what we've done is we've turned all bitmaps into a legitimate community onboarding tool, right? Which is the killer app of like Web3, right? That's what crypto tokens do, right? Cryptocurrencies, people can buy a crypto coin. You're now like participant, you've onboarded into a community, right? That's what meme coins are so good at demonstrating.
Yeah.
NFTs, same functionality. You purchase an NFT of a collection, you're now part of a community, an ecosystem, whatever, right? These parcels of a bitmap have that same potential, that same value unlock ability, right? Is to onboard community, but this one has a much more like of a focused direction, like value proposition, right? The community who's parceling out a bitmap, like you have a shared cohesive, like aligned vision as far as like, why are we parceling out this bitmap? What are we going to be doing? What are we going to be building?
Yeah, this is just no different than, launching a PFP project with your community. It's just now you can hang out in a 3D environment and then have the entire community contribute to building out the culture.
That's what I mean. This has never been like, this wasn't part of the bitmap ecosystem, but from our lens, our perspective, our interpretation, this is the whole fucking point.
Yeah.
Right. It's not to have all these different text inscriptions in your wallet just to kind of like generate AI images of orange squares all day and post like bull posts on Twitter and like, say, oh, we're actually living in a bitmap, guys, like things like this, like the ideological, like just religious worship of this stuff. It's the actual application, practical use case of this stuff. These things are tangibly useful.
Yeah.
Right. You could put them to use and you can get developers actually constructing things of value within them. Right. So that, again, that's always been our focus, even back in the Decentraland days. And Bitmap gave the opportunity to basically set that foundations like in the right direction from the get-go. Right.
Yeah. So let's head over to the meta that's being developed right now. Just follow me in this direction.
Okay.
It's right next door.
I see you.
But we got a old school TV. They're showcasing Natomon here.
Oh wow, it's like actually like a trailer of it.
Right? Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's the trailer.
Yeah, is this that same Matrix TV? I think this is like actually.
I think it's very similar.
It's very similar to the TV.
Yeah, but this is like a custom build, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very nice.
But yeah, let's go next door. So this is Beasting's parcel here, which is close by. Our parcels are very close, by the way. But this is the NATRIX that you've been seeing on Twitter every now and then. And so this is one of the earliest applications that is possible on BitmapOS. And this is just like an early version of it, right? So this, I think we can actually interact with this, right? So you can click, let's see. So there, I'm changing the shirt, a DMT shirt to a UNAT shirt.
Oh, wow. Let me see that.
And a BTC shirt.
So essentially you're shopping here, dude.
Yeah.
You're window shopping.
On your screen, are you seeing that?
I am.
You are seeing it.
I'm seeing the shirts change.
Yeah, so this is a shared environment. Go ahead and change it, Iron Man. That way I can show.
Okay, just hit what buttons? Like the clothing options?
The DMT, UNAT, and BTC on the right.
Okay, all right. I'm going to hit DMT first. Boom. Did it work? All right, let me hit UNAT.
Yeah, there it is, DMT. There's a UNAT.
Bitcoin.
And there's Bitcoin.
DMT again.
There's DMT.
Dude, this is so sick.
Yeah. And so this is just like an example of like this application. So what, right? Who cares? You can change shirts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the big deal here is that Beasting can actually drop this as a UNAT. This whole concept, this whole thing can be dropped as a UNAT. And this kiosk can be a completely unique device that you deploy on your parcel. And then people can come and actually purchase these assets from that parcel owner. And that landowner is going to get a cut of that transaction using the smart contracts developed by TAP.
Exactly. Yeah.
And all this happens automatically and trustlessly. If you don't, you could go view the smart contracts and verify that the splits are there and everything, right? Just copy and paste it and put into Claude and ask it questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's all here, right? This is like the first application. So what else can people do? And this idea, like it really spawned from kind of the concept and like the incentive alignment that we've been kind of preaching for the last 5 years is like, this is how you do the metaverse, right? Without this, you don't really have like a sustainable environment.
Yeah. Again, our interpretation, and that is what free markets enable, is to people to deliver on what they think is going to be valuable for the market, right? You might completely disagree with this thesis. It's like, you know what? I don't care about functionality. I don't care about supporting some sort of in metaverse economy, right? If it means that I'm like having any sort of like indexer reliance or whatever, right? You see a lot of this like talk happening in like the fractal ecosystem, like remember Cat 20 and stuff. It's like their main narrative pitch was like, we don't have to rely on indexers with the Cat 20 protocol, right? And then people are like jumping on board, like, hooray, no more indexer dependencies, right?
Yeah.
That's fine. You can go build in that ecosystem, and like if you align with that perspective, you want to like really,
Yeah, what does that mean? It means that you're gonna have to run your own node and start parsing through all the transactions and finding the shit yourself. That's what it means by not having an indexer.
Right. Well,
so ridiculous.
Yeah. So that's there you go. So there's a market vertical for you to execute on that, and deliver a product that fits within that ethos or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's it. Right now you've got something along with what this thesis represents. Right.
Yeah.
And we have two like competing market forces within this environment. Right.
Yeah.
And then that is kind of like the whole point of this is to figure out which of these actually make the most sense, which of these are going to onboard the most developers, which of these are going to produce the most, functional content, the things that attract actually real world users to this platform, not the Twitter drum circle people.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about real people, real users out there who are going to see the delivery of these two competing products and actually be like onboarded to the metaverse as a result.
Yeah.
And as a result, onboarded into the Bitcoin ecosystem.
That's right.
Right. Because remember, all this is built layer 1 to Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of super like positive things as an end result of all this, right?
Yeah, I don't understand how anybody can look at this and be like, no, I don't want this on my bitmap, or I'm going to try to stop those guys from doing this to the bitmap ecosystem. Like this is actually this is actually a way to proliferate Bitmap. It's actually a good thing to get developers building on top of Bitmap. It's not a bad thing.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Otherwise, like, what are they doing? Like, where's the value for the Bitmap coming from?
Well, they're just sitting in their circle, dude, just praying to the Bitmap gods to number go up, I guess.
Who's the Bitmap god? Is it Bitoshi?
I guess.
Is Bitoshi going to build all this? I don't think so, dude.
No, definitely not.
Unlikely, right?
No.
Yeah. So, I mean, Bitoshi, I guess let us know what you think, because I know you watch our channel from time to time. If you don't recall, it was because of this channel that Bitmap actually propagated beyond just a few people minting these things.
That's right.
So, yeah. I mean,
I challenge anybody to find a Bitmap video that's older than ours.
Actually, you know what? Open invitation to Bitoshi if he wants to like come on and have like a podcast discussion with us. That'd be great, Bitoshi.
It's a good idea.
I would enjoy to hear that.
I think it's time, dude. Like, it's a full circle moment, right? For whatever we discovered Bitmap, we like agreed this is a good starting point, a good idea, dude.
Yeah.
So like here we are with our biggest contribution to what it is you've kind of incepted. So let's have a real discussion as far as like actual direction. Like, do you completely disagree with this? This is a completely faulty interpretation of what Bitmap is and what it shouldn't be or should be. Let's talk about it, dude.
Yeah, I totally agree. And when you zoom out and you look at what is happening within kind of like the Bitmap ecosystem, let me refresh this page here. And you look at all the contributors participating in the NATRIX, and each one has like their own take on everything. And so we want to be able to support all of that functionality, because everyone's going to have a different take. But in order to have that different take, you need to have like an ecosystem of at least a platform for people to create whatever it is that they think is going to be sustainable. Without that, it's not going to work.
Correct.
So definitely, it's always an open invitation to, especially Bitoshi to give his take. Maybe this is a completely bad idea for bitmaps, and I would like to hear why. Yeah,
the community needs to know, right?
Yeah.
If Bitoshi really is like the overseeing force behind all of this, and like Bitoshi's the ultimate end all be all as far as establishing law or standards within this ecosystem, then let's hear the reasoning why this is the wrong direction, right? And if he wants to take that stance, it's like his direction is the only direction. Publicly proclaim that, right?
Yeah,
and that's fine, because we're giving the market again, that the market of Bitmap, right? Because like you said, as of right now, this is the most active bitmap in existence with actual builders
Yeah.
and the most like user count of any bitmap in existence. Right?
Yep. In 2 days, dude.
Yeah, and then keep in mind, like this whole technology framework is the idea of this is to refine it, to optimize it, and get it large scale ready for all bitmap owners to take advantage of it, right? Like you're saying, anybody who owns a bitmap can leverage this parcel mechanism LDE approach.
Yeah.
Whether they want to do a free distribution or not, the tools are there to do that and execute on that. And then you could leverage this technology stack, which clearly is very powerful, right? I mean, again, I had to see it to truly understand it. I mean, we got to tinker with it ourselves.
Yeah. On top of this, it's like when we were building this out, you and I would have, tons and tons of conversations about this. And we were debating on whether or not, this platform would be able to facilitate all that's needed for developers. And a part of it is to make predictions before things happen so that we can establish like a basis of like expectations. And I told you that as long as we enabled this and allowed it to be accessible by developers, people would just instantly start building because it's HTML and JavaScript, the most commonly known programming languages in the world.
Yeah, I saw some cool tweets from people. I guess some old heads out there, some graybeards. They're like, it's like, man, our like actual NATRIX parcel owners, like, I think it's you, Crypto Fox. Shout out you if you're watching. He was like, I remember back in 1996, and like I coded on my on our first website like something very basic using HTML.
Yeah,
and here I am in the NATRIX coding like with HTML something very basic again.
Yeah,
it's like full circle, right?
This is how it starts.
Yeah. Like he drew that parallel from like early internet days to like, look, we're actually redoing this thing, but in a 3D spatial environment.
Yeah.
Using this tech, right? Like, if you don't see that as like a big W for Bitmap, then you're completely lost touch with reality.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. It's weird that anyone would want to detract from that, but that's only because
that's why I start off with this whole thing is like a religion, dude. It's like.
Yeah,
it's
people that don't understand.
It's something beyond reasoning and logic.
Yeah, that's true. Let's see, that's something that I have trouble understanding.
I know you do. I knew you would have the most trouble understanding that. Yeah,
things need to make sense, TJ. If they don't really exist.
Right.
So yeah.
Well, that wasn't like your opener to like just full on like just dog all of religions or anything like that. It's just that is what happens, dude, to people, right? It's just when they get so enraptured, I guess, by belief, like they're willing to do anything, I guess, to defend it blindly, right?
Yeah.
Even though there's nothing threatening here, guys, nothing.
Yeah.
You're interpreting this as a threat to Bitmap. Again, you've lost touch with reality 100%. Like,
totally agree.
Look around you, dude. Let's do a little bit more exploring. If somehow this is like an antithesis to like creating value for the Bitmap ecosystem, then I don't know, man. You guys are really fucked, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, we covered this space for a long time. And to be honest, we haven't seen a community as toxic as what the Bitmap community is. If the rest of the people who own Bitmaps allow this like toxicity to fester and actually be representative of what can be of Bitmap is in serious trouble.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think we have an expert understanding,
expert opinion on that.
Yeah, we've been around long enough. We've made enough good calls, and we've seen enough, right, in this space. You can just go through our catalog.
Yeah, you know the beauty about this, especially from the context of like parcelization, is if you really believe parcelization should be done, let's say directly from the bitmap, well, you have the opportunity to do that, and let's see what you can build with that. Right. And I guarantee you the lack of development from that, like, they're calling it a fork. And it's funny is you only fork code. You don't fork a Git book.
Yeah.
And just like a text inscription. I mean, that's pretty weird.
Yeah. That's the most laughable thing about all this. It's just words on a screen.
Yeah. Literally.
It's not actual. Bitmap is not real software code, guys.
No, it's definitely not.
In case you had a totally misunderstanding of what Bitoshi didn't develop any software.
No.
Right. So like literally the code, the words on text can be revised and rewritten.
Yeah.
And
to support creators. Yes.
Yeah. Which is exactly what's being done.
Yeah.
So this is another This is Optimus, right?
Yeah, this is Optimus, and look at the rotating helmet. That is going to be a wearable,
Is it?
right? As a matter of fact, it's on this NatCat mannequin here.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's so sick, dude. I can't wait for this stuff. So yeah, there's a lot more frameworks ahead. I mean, like literally, this just deployed like a few days ago, and
Yeah.
already like completely exceeded my expectations for sure.
Yeah,
I think in the short term, like you're saying, the focus is going to be on avatar creation. I think right now we're working on like the actual usernames, right? I think you said you have a SAT. I can see your SAT name. I don't have mine on display.
yeah, yeah. So the
Dot
SAT
SAT
names already work, right?
Right,
You
okay.
should be able to kind of select your SAT name already.
So do you know if like other like name domains will be supported? Just for now, we're starting with .sats. Right?
Yeah, for now it's .sats. If there's some traction out there for a different kind of domain name, I personally like the name because it's so universal.
I see.
Rather than .sats, because it could be .sats or .btc, .bitmap, .everything, and then it's like
Yeah, but .sats has like the most
it does have the most holders.
traction, I guess.
It
right?
does, yes, yeah,
Yeah, it was like one of the earliest. Like,
and that's why we're supporting .sats.
okay, so if you have your .sat already claimed, or if you don't, now would be a good time to try and like find your .sat name that you want to represent your user identity, right?
Yeah.
Within the NATRIX, right?
Yeah, and then so it's like you got unique names that are inscribed. You're gonna have the unique avatars that are also inscribed, and then you're gonna have the ability to deploy metas as UNATs, where you're gonna be applications. Those are also inscribed, and so we have an entire tech stack that developers who have built UNATs, who haven't built a UNAT yet with HTML and JavaScript, can build these applications and deploy them in the NATRIX, and then subsequently in future bitmaps.
Correct. Yeah, and I think we've been talking to our team here, and one of our big motivations is going to be getting enrolled streaming at some point in here, right? Or something like that, so we can start doing our community events and community calls. Right now we're doing them on Twitter, but as we're clearly demonstrating, Twitter is the most vile platform on earth. We want to exit Twitter as quickly as possible, get into the metaverse space.
Yeah.
Right? Because at least in here, if somebody's got beef, let's go to the fucking let's go to the duel arena.
The gauntlet.
The gauntlet. Because we can make that as a meta, by the way.
Yeah.
You bitmappers cannot. But we can. We can make this as an actual functional application in our NATRIX.
Yeah.
And we can settle the beef here.
Yeah.
I'd really like to see our studio in there.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
we need to focus some efforts on building a studio.
Yeah, so we're
Maybe somebody in the community can help us with that, but yeah, I mean, over the weekend I was chilling in the NATRIX, and I saw this guy. Well, both Imagy Films and whoever this person is, they built like what looks like a parking lot, but I saw this being built in real time.
Yeah, that's like the coolest part about all this. Unfortunately, we can't. That's not happening right now, right? But dude, that is like the most beauty spectacle part of this whole thing, right?
Yeah, I saw this guy build it level by level.
And big shout out to M Squared.
Yeah,
and MML.
Yeah,
I think people are starting to truly appreciate this superpower framework of technology, right? So, it's a big deal. Again, I had to like witness it to see it myself. I mean, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. What's crazy is we're able to make these predictions and it be true.
Mm-hmm. Where you at?
I'm right next to Imagy Films.
Oh, I'm coming. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say after this, let's go run to DMT Pirates Pyramid. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, let's go over there.
Oh, okay. I was gonna come to you.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
I'm coming, dude. Let's just chill in front of the Outer Studios.
Outer
portal.
Studios, yeah.
That's pretty fucking cool. Yeah, Outer Studios. Cool shout out to I know it's beautiful. Dude, these guys.
We made a portal once. It was not as cool as this.
It was pretty cool, but yeah, this is
a cool portal.
Yeah, it was fine.
It was definitely fine, dude. Quit hating on our stuff, dude. Not you too, dude. They got you, dude. Fuck. But yeah, these are gonna be totally functional one day. I'm sure it's gonna like actually take you to, who knows? Like our portal on our test land had an actual external link to a whole other experience, right? So that is part of the functionality that'll be part of this. So, if you're not 100%, if you don't completely jig and vibe with your parcel, I guess, space, Just portal out to a whole other existence if you want, dude. If that enriches your
Yeah.
metaverse offering.
Yeah, let's go to the pyramid. It's like the first primitive when you build anything is a pyramid.
That's right. Yeah. So shout out Outer Studios again. They developed all these cool avatars. What else? DMT Pirates. So this is like an upcoming UNAT collection, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
So shout out to them.
Yeah. I mean, we got so much work to do.
Yeah, we're gonna have a DMT update video at some point soon, guys. So we could talk more about. Remember, so this is what's happening in the metaverse. The DMT ecosystem is obviously continually expanding. We got new games being developed,
Yes.
right? Which we haven't talked about yet.
Yeah, man.
We got new DMT collections being created. The pirates seem super badass and primed for the metaverse already. So
Yeah, and the whole point of this is like to be able to expand your ecosystem with like different vectors of interaction, right? Like for DMT Pirates, is like they have a boat out there that's shooting cannonballs,
where's it
like
at?
in the NATRIX.
Oh fuck, dude!
I think it's like if we go, I guess east here.
All right, I'm really relying on you for navigation here, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, you freaking left me. Hold on.
Dude, you're slow, dude.
I have no idea where you went.
I said east.
I thought you said west. I went the other way, dude.
I really like this solar system that you have, even though it's incomplete.
Yeah. So funny thing, over I guess the week before. Oh, dude, your lasers.
Yeah, it's illuminating the sun here.
Yeah.
It's got like an illumination like effect to it.
That's cool.
You want to see my parcels, dude? You want to see what I was able to conjure up with Claude?
Yeah. So we were interfacing with Claude here. I was like, Claude,
Yeah.
you make me a solar system, please. And it produced a solar system,
It did,
and it was great.
but it didn't like fully work all the way.
No, it didn't work all the
So
way.
You had to make, and I was like, "Hey, Claude, I have this matrix scene here. This like white space that we put together. This like white
Yeah.
and the chairs, pretty much the whole set, the action set here. But
The
I was-
action set.
So this is like MML code, right? So like here's the MML code that we use to put the scene together. So it's like reference this same code base and I don't know, generate me some translucent walls, right?
Yeah.
And it's like sure thing. And it actually did, right? And I could adjust the height of them. I can make sure that they fit within the right bounds and stuff.
You know what you should
Just
do?
by talking to it.
Just to preserve like the genesis of like the concept of the Matrix. You
Just
should
never fuck with this land or what?
well, yeah, but you should make these white walls not translucent and create an entire white cube.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to go for.
Yeah, so that way when you jump in, which you can just kind of go
Yeah.
through, it looks like you're in the Matrix, in the construct.
That's exactly what I was trying to make these walls passable.
Yeah.
So that like I'm learning how to code just by talking to the AI. It's like a true or false statement. It just the pass through functionality of like this collider here.
Right.
So yeah, but the idea is like once you pass through and you're in this like white space, the whole thing is surrounded by white space, right? So it's kind of like it cancels out the outside environment, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And like you're actually in the matrix.
Yeah, and so part of like the technology of this is that you can put in lights here. So you see the shadow. The shadow is actually coming from like the direction of the sun. Like that's a real shadow.
Mm-hmm.
But you can add lights here, which affect the shadows here. So as soon as you do that enclosure, I think it's going to be extremely dark in here. So you're going to have to put in a bunch of lights.
Sounds fun, dude.
Yeah, which is cool, right? It's real physics.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so we continue west here.
Oh, I thought we were going east this time.
We're definitely going east.
Oh, dude, I see it.
Yeah, look at
It's
that.
beautiful. Wow, dude, this is actually so sick.
Oh, that is cool. Wow.
Yeah.
What the fudge?
Yeah, so these are real 3D models here that you can collide with. So you
Wow.
can. So I was just hit there.
I see if I can land on one.
Yeah,
There's no
right,
way. Watch me do it.
He's the one, dude.
Watch me do it. Oh, I almost did it. Okay, I didn't do it though. Can you get on the ship?
Yeah. Yeah. So for example, like this GOB model here, it requires probably some adjustment to the texture. That's why it's so dark.
Yeah.
But you could literally add more lights to it, and it will brighten up.
Damn, dude, this is so cool. This is beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it. Shout out to DMT Pirates and everybody who's building it here. There's so many other parcels. We just don't have enough time to go through everything. Here's like a random
Yeah.
DMT coin.
Yeah. This is a Tinkerer.
Damn, this thing's pretty cool too. Yeah, there's like a big Nat coin somewhere out here. NAT token.
Yeah.
I think from what I saw.
Yeah, but dude, if you're like a PFP community and like this is the way to do it, right? If you have a community and you give them these tools, they'll start making stuff.
Yeah,
Like
100%.
you don't really have to give them a direction or anything. They'll just like tinker around and like actually deploy
Yeah, man.
content, and then all of a sudden like you have like an ecosystem.
Yeah, so I'm actually more and more as the days go by, I'm starting to believe like a meme coin super cycle is on the horizon.
Yeah.
Just because I see the social engineering of it and like the manufactured collective delusion around it, like the ideas of creating a meme coin, onboarding a community from this meme coin, and then like perpetuating it like through the utilization of this vile existence of Twitter, right? It's just, but so it can be weaponized and for that, right? The
100%.
manufacturing of like collective delusion, and meme coins are super powerful for that, right?
Yeah.
So after this meme coin super cycle, though, people are going to be wondering, like, all right, like, you know, we all are giga rich now because, you know, our meme coins all went to the moon.
Yeah.
Just like all crypto manias do, right? It was like, now what do we do, right? Well, the most obvious answer is to bring your communities into the metaverse space. Specifically, do this.
Yeah.
Just launch these for your community, right?
Yeah.
If you guys are $1 billion cats enthusiasts out here, imagine the experience you can create as a community to really amplify and fester that idea of $1 billion cats going to $1 billion, right? Like this is the ultimate collective creation medium to like reemphasize that target, that destination, that mission, that ethos.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Right?
Yeah, and why not like encourage your community to make that content, but in the metaverse, because it becomes more interactive, and like all the $1 billion cat guys are in here, right?
Yeah, and this is on Bitcoin, right? This $1 billion cat. I mean, the bitmaps are on Bitcoin.
Yeah.
$1 billion cat is a meme coin on Bitcoin. The fucking dog community, right? Leonidas, his community should be in here.
Yeah.
Fucking making dogverse, you know?
Yeah,
just
for sure.
dogs all over the fucking place, dude. If you guys worship dogs like you say you do,
Yeah.
everybody should be making their own interpretation of like cool shit related to the IP, the brand of dog.
Yeah.
Right. This applies to everybody who's trying to build anything in crypto. That's the killer application of the metaverse, right? And all this stuff, trust me, it's gonna look beautiful on your Twitter profiles, guys. Your timeline of just like all this cool stuff that's being built for your community using these like easy tools.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, but we're bad for Bitmap though. So
yeah.
So actually, don't do that. That's gonna hurt Bitmap.
Yeah. I mean,
for sure.
The religion is definitely is to the point where it's like, you know, what are we trying to do here? Are we trying to just contribute to the construction of the metaverse on Bitcoin, or are we just trying to pump a text that's inscribed on Bitcoin? Like,
well, like I said, I think people actually revere blue skies and no delivery, from what I'm starting to understand.
Yeah.
Ooh, look at this giant cube. That's fucked. It's huge. Sorry.
I shared with you a video. I think TJ, you should watch it, but it's about an hour 20 minutes long. But it's this whole spiel on AI that it's like 80% of the discussion in this, you know, hour-long video is the rate of like creation with AI.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last 20% is what it's all culminating to. And guess what it was?
The metaverse, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Well, thanks for saving me an hour and a half. So.
I know. For real. But all of AI culminating, I mean, all of AI culminates to a lot of things, right? It's like
well, yeah. Well, I mean,
complete
AI culminates to a lot less jobs, automation. Mm-hmm. Like all of a sudden, no one is doing like working for money, with enough time. And it's like, what is everyone going to be doing? They're going to be spending their time in the metaverse.
Dude, that's what we've said.
I know. And you know what's interesting about this video is that someone came to the same conclusion independently from us.
Yeah. Oh, I think it just makes the most sense. All we've been doing is just recognizing patterns, right?
That's right.
The patterns of like as the kids get younger and younger and younger, their proliferation or their presence within like the virtual space gets bigger and bigger and bigger, right? It's like Seems to be. Like, damn, dude, I just went flying. Did you do that?
Oh, I did do that.
You just
I saw
nuked me
you.
across the fucking Natrix, dude. Coming back. That was pretty fun. But it's like, yeah, man, this idea. Oh, it didn't work that time. Damn it. Shoot me one more time. Fling me. Fling me good. Come on. Give me a good toss, dude. All right, it's not going to happen, I don't think. That was like a fluke moment. No, dude. Okay. All right, so what was I saying? Damn it, you distracted me heavily.
The culmination of AI leading to the metaverse and it being independently arrived at by somebody else.
Oh, yeah, just because we're recognizing patterns of,
Yeah, that's right.
you know, it seemed, yeah, as full scale automation and AI definitely just completely removes our purpose as human beings within our modern economy, right? It's like we're no longer like the workhorse engine of like keeping things moving,
Yeah.
right? I mean, of course, I feel like there's still going to be some human intervention in all this. There has to be. Maybe I'm wrong completely. Fast forward timeline long enough, absolutely no reason for that. Maybe that's the case.
Well, we need to look further into AI because
Well, it's not just AI. It's also like the mechanical operations of things, right? Like you still need human labor for this type of stuff. But
For now.
yeah, exactly. Up until what point?
yeah, for now.
For sure, we'll be phased out from that requirement as well.
Yeah, if a human can fix a robot can fix a robot.
Yeah, exactly. So if you fast on a long enough timeline, we're for sure going to become obsolete.
Yeah, and you know, when kind of talking about this is like long enough timeline, it's like, oh, you know, that's 50 years from now, 100 years from now. We don't have to worry about that now.
maybe not.
Well, it's going to be a lot sooner than that.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Maybe actually like 5-15 years or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh shit. It's not, are you sure?
I'm 100% sure. Why? Because of the exponential technological curve that we are on. Right? In the last 100 years, we're responsible for like all this technology, but 100 years is like 0.1% of the time or 0.01% of the time of our entire existence as a human race.
Yeah.
And the last 100 years is responsible for all that technology.
So what you're saying is
So another 10 years is going to be like,
yeah,
like hundreds of years of technological progress.
damn. Yeah. So what you're saying is we should have elected Andrew Yang.
I said it, dude.
We should have done it, dude.
Yeah, he's one of the few
Now it's too late.
like entities out there that understand exponential growth,
Yeah.
right? Because he's a math guy.
Yeah, he saw it coming. And
He
we
did.
did too, again. So that's why we came to another thesis of ours, like, okay, so like human beings have been removed as far as like our purpose has been extracted away from like the physical environment that we all like bestow ourselves within. Or actually,
Yeah.
we don't have a choice in that. So it's like, now how do we identify our new purpose? The virtual space seems to be like the most likely candidate of such, right? Just because there's an infinite vertical of creation of purpose within this like this reality, right? Unlike we have here, right? We're bound to so many different limitations and such. Like human beings can only do so much. Right?
Yeah. Hey, man, blink twice if you need freedom.
Well, don't we all need freedom, dude? What do you mean?
I mean, just send out signals in case you need to like release from, you know, the capture,
The shackles?
the shackles that you're currently in.
What the fuck? Where did
I'm
that
just
come
saying.
from, dude?
I'm just saying, dude. If you need like freedom,
I know where it came from.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I mean,
send some signals out there, dude.
I can't think of any, dude. Maybe if you guys ever see like a sweat bead just like dropping down my forehead.
I hope Will likes this. I hope Will likes what I said.
It's true, dude. You guys don't understand the pressure he puts on me, dude. It's almost unlivable stuff, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, for all you guys out there concerned about my well-being,
Yeah, you should be concerned.
yeah, dude, it's not easy. It's not easy being,
Under duress.
yeah, whatever this is, dude. But yeah, man. I guess let's end it at that.
Yeah.
Before I
I was just trying to get, help you, Iron Man, just in case you wanted to like,
pull shoot.
yeah, pull a shoot. Yeah.
Nah, I'm not pulling the shoot anytime soon, dude. I'm here to die on my shield, dude.
Yeah.
That's what I'm here to do.
Yeah, man. Just go back to our videos from 5 years ago. We've had the exact same conviction. We've been singing the same song.
Yep.
for 5 years. We're going to continue supporting developers and creating technology and supporting Bitmap that supports creators, that supports other creators. And that's it, right? If you don't like it, you can continue in your hippie drum circle.
That's right.
And talk about us all day.
Man, dude. Yeah. So shout out Bitmap News, dude. For real.
Yeah.
That is the hippie drum circle. Just because of like, you have the easiest job on earth as far as like coming up with like things to talk about and content. Unlike us, we actually have to do like real research and stuff.
Yeah.
To, like,
do actual work.
Yeah. We actually have to do things in order to like create valuable content for our viewers, our listeners. All you have to do is simply watch this channel and just
talk about us,
talk shit all day long.
Yeah.
Like, what a marvelous position you're into. Oh, by the way, that sponsorship money coming from the DMT community.
Yeah,
you're welcome, dude. You're welcome. The thing you hate so much that is your anti-DMT community sponsored by DMT.
Yeah, not only that, the more they talk about it, the more people that get into the NATRIX. Yeah, that's helpful.
It is helpful. So appreciate all you guys out there.
Yeah, definitely.
You guys are actually our biggest stands. Love you all dearly.
Yeah, man. Keep it going. All right, guys. That's it for us. I appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure you join the NATRIX, follow our Twitter account, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you have any questions about the NATRIX, let us know in the comment section below. Appreciate you. And we'll catch you in the next podcast.
Peace.